Hey mommies, how are you? So I guess you've probably seen in the news everything that's been going on with this whole Donald Trump. Obviously, I guess the media now gets such a kick out of all the stupid things that sometimes he says. So this is just one of the newest headlines, and I'm always like, oh my God, they're blowing this out of proportion, or they're just trying to obviously get on the wagon for the whole thing of shaming Donald Trump. So anyway, I don't really like him that much, but I tend to kind of just, ignore that type of stuff because he's just, anyway, I won't get into what type of person he is and all that stuff. But anyway, the other day, I'm like seeing all this stuff on social media and on the news and stuff about Donald Trump and breastfeeding and formula and the World Health Summit that they did, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're taking this out of proportion. Let's see what's really going on. So I started to read and investigate. I was reading the original article on the New York Times and a little bit more about it and what had gone on, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is going on. It's so ridiculous, and for a number of different reasons. So I just kind of wanted to give my take on it, because on the other side of the spectrum too, I don't think it's about shaming formula feeding moms or the type of feeding choice that you have for your baby. It goes way beyond that, and it goes way beyond making. I understand completely that sometimes formula is necessary in certain cases, and thank God that formula exists, because it's a way that we can still feed our babies that are having problems. But I think the issue goes beyond formula being available for moms. Well, first of all, moms, the issue has never been whether formula is accessible to moms or not, because we're talking about America here. The government, the United States government, is the biggest purchaser of formula in the whole world. So that's not an issue here, and you can get free formula here left, right, and center, because this is what the issue is. Basically, the World Health Association, what they wanted to do was to be able to bring about restrictions on how formula companies could advertise and promote and market, because the truth is that they bombard the market, from your pediatrician's office to your OBGYN office to the baby stores. Everywhere they're bombarding us with their marketing strategies, trying to make us think that formula can replace breast milk, basically. And it's like the best alternative. It's the same as breast milk, it's the closest thing. And basically what they're doing is they're preventing women from being able to even get started with breastfeeding, because they think that they're kind of set up to fail. And then on top of that, all the marketing tactics, they send, they have, sponsorship deals with the hospital, so you get samples at the hospital. So everywhere you're just bombarded with formula. So what they wanted to do was kind of bring about restrictions on how they could advertise, so that breastfeeding could be more heavily strongly promoted, so that we can try and become more of a breastfeeding society, I guess. So basically what happened is there's a bunch of countries that have already enforced this. And in fact, you can kind of see it. The countries that have the best breastfeeding rates are the countries that don't have all these advertising from the formula companies. And it also tends to be a lot of the countries that are like developing countries that have the highest peak of formula rates. So the thing is then, obviously, that if you don't have all these formula companies, they're a $17 billion industry, they pay a lot of money in taxes, and obviously they contribute to the US government very widely, obviously. So the US government doesn't profit from them not being able to advertise and get people to buy their formula. So basically what happened was that the US representatives, whatever their names are, they were basically telling the other countries that were there not to be part of this initiative, because basically they were bluntly threatening them, saying, okay, if you are involved in this initiative to promote breastfeeding and to get formula companies to not be able to have all these marketing strategies, then we're not going to help you with military aid, or we're not going to help you with whatever other things that the US was trying to help them. They bluntly did it to Ecuador, and Ecuador backed out of being part of the initiative. So it just makes me think, like, what? Like, this is crazy. What does breastfeeding have to do with military aid? Like, don't start mixing things together, And it just really, really upset me, because it just makes you think how, again, and again, going way beyond like formula, we don't even have a government that supports moms, lay and behold, like moms, whatever type, if they're formula or breastfeeding, because we have no maternity leave in this country. When we go back to work, there's no laws established to help protect us, you know, if we are pumping moms, so that we have a pumping room, so that we have a place that we can go and pump that is not a bathroom, you know. So we don't have any help in regards to trying to enforce more of the natural birth that they have in other countries. We don't have like midwives here. Everything is so expensive and it's out of reach for moms to be able to have like postpartum support. In other countries in Europe, they have midwives that come to the house for 6 months after the baby's born. They have lactation consultants at hand. They have so much more help that we have in this country. It's kind of basically, we're just kind of like, okay, you want to have a baby? Okay, you go have a baby, you go do your thing, you know, you have to worry and you have to be responsible about your own thing. There's no support for moms in general, you know. Like I go, like I said, way beyond just formula being accessible for moms. Yeah, formula is accessible for moms. That's not the problem. The problem that we have, if you want to be a breastfeeding supporting government, then you need to provide us with so much more. You know, the question, again, I'm just like upset because the question is not whether formula is accessible or not. Yes, of course it's accessible. And that's the whole point of this. No one is saying that there can't be any formula available for moms. No one's saying that. If a mom needs formula, then she can go and get formula. That's not the problem. The problem is how it's so massively advertised that it's taking away like mom's opportunity to be able to breastfeed. So it's kind of a complex subject and topic, and I don't want to kind of like go off on a rant in regards to what my opinions are, but I just kind of wanted to bring that because a lot of people are like getting on the like opposite side of what the situation is. It's like, no, yeah, formula should be available. If moms need it, then they don't have any other option. What are they going to do? You know, yes, we understand that, but what we're trying to say is Donald Trump is trying to portray how he's this breastfeeding promoter and how he does support breastfeeding. Well, you don't, because first of all, you don't want to sign an initiative to promote breastfeeding. Second, you don't want to help control all this mass advertising from the formula companies. And even before we get to that, you need to start supporting pregnant moms and breastfeeding moms and postpartum moms. We need help. We need help when we transition going back to work. We need help bringing up our kids, you know, establishing mom and baby bond. And we only do that through having adequate maternity leave. Maternity leave is not having 6 weeks with your baby and then having to take your baby to a daycare when he's a tiny little thing and he's completely defenseless. So I think there's a lot of other issues that we have to work on first before we even get to the whole like restricting the formula companies and all that stuff. But it just like set me up. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is coming from this guy. And then on top of that, there was also all these reports and headlines about how he wanted to cut off WIC and all these other things that help moms that don't have the means to be able to do to provide their kids good nutrition, you know. And then even worse, what they did is when all this started to like backfire on them, they tried to make it out that it was actually only regarding formula for like toddlers and younger children, not babies. So it's just like amazing how like I'm glad that we have social media channels now to get the word out, to get people informed in regards to what's going on. So just kind of be aware of what's going on in regards to all this issue, so that you can educate yourself and you can educate other moms, and especially keep like rooting for breastfeeding and keep normalizing, keep breastfeeding in public, so we can keep on making breastfeeding normalized, and so we can explain to other moms and generations to come how breastfeeding is the perfect feeding choice for your baby. It's free, so it doesn't matter if you're poor, it's free. Your baby's gonna get all the nutrients and everything that they need because everything is there in your breast milk. So wow, I was just like, oh my God. Anyway, I wanted to just bring this quick video too. And if you're a mom that does need breastfeeding support, I would love to help you. I'm having a free webinar this Thursday. I'm going to put the link here. So if you're a breastfeeding mom, if you're pregnant, if you know a breastfeeding mom that's struggling, anybody, or dads or uncles or moms or aunts that want to support a loved one that is breastfeeding, I'm going to put the link below in the comments. And it's a free webinar. It's awesome. And the idea of it is to crush all those kind of misconceptions that we have about breastfeeding and how it's not possible or how it's too hard, so that you are able to get started with breastfeeding and go on a solid, journey with your breastfeeding journey. Bye.